Good afternoon. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Media News. The headlines. Former President Edgar Lungu's associate, FINDLAY, had more than one passport witnesses tell court. EX-MUSHE milling employees spent the night in the cold at ZCCM-HI offices demanding for benefits. Details coming through after this commercial.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Cholwe from Cho's Fitness Gym. We're a fully functional gym located along Twin Palm Road in Kablonga, right by Cheshire Homes Society of Zambia. So we have various classes that happen from Monday to Friday. We have aerobics, we have boot camp, we have step aerobics, we have spinning, we have kettlebell classes. They happen from 18 to 19 hours every day, and we are open from 06 until 20 hours. That's Monday to Friday. Then Saturdays 6 to 12, and then Sundays we are closed. And most public holidays we are open 6 to 12.
A falcon, known for flying high speeds, unmistakably grace and flying incredible long distances. Falcon Express is equal to the task with your deliveries. Friendly and reliable, a company that cares for you, local and international coverage, a company that empowers its customers on time, every time, all the time. Nationwide delivery.
Send your parcel through Falcon Express to Mongu, Kabwe, Ndola, Kapiri, Kitwe, Chingola, Chipata, Livingstone, Mazaboka, Kasama, Solwezi, Kalumbila, Chililabombwe, Luansha, Kalulushi. Get in touch with us on +260 971 130 766 and drop your parcels at Falcon Express. Falcon Express. Your parcels are safe with us.
And now the media news in detail. Former Kawe area member of parliament, Tutu Ngulube, had been put to rest at Kawe's Old St. Mary's Cemetery. The burial was attended by opposition Patriotic Front members, including former Republican President Edgar Lungu, who led the mourners, and some government officials.
Mourners gathered on Wednesday, 7th December 2022 to pay their last respect to former Kawe area member of parliament, Tutu Ngulube, an outspoken politician and renowned lawyer. Close friends, family, and those he mentored, direct and indirectly, have called him a man of principle and decency during a funeral service this morning at St. Mark's UCZ Church in Kawe. Mr. Ngulube died in Lusaka on the 3rd of December 2022 after a short illness. His body was taken to Kawe from Lusaka yesterday, his final resting place.
Honorable Ngulube will be remembered as a politician who stood for the truth, a reputable lawyer and a businessman, an inspiration to many young people and emerging politicians in the country. Fellow mourners to the National Assembly of Zambia, the late Honorable Ngulube will be remembered as someone who served the institution with honor and humility.
Today, even as we are from Tutwa, let's take into account that it's not how old you live, it's not how many years you live, but it's what you put down for the benefit of humanity. And let's emulate Tutwa Ngulube, what he did for this nation. He represented the nation in the parliament, he represented the humanity. We have heard how we have helped many orphans and people who needed school fees. This is the life to emulate.
Paying their last respect were former Republican President Edgar Lungu, with the former First Lady Esther Lungu, Minister of Local Government Gary Nkombo, Minister of Transport Frank Tayali, and many others, including members of the opposition Patriotic Front Party.
Ngulube, the lawyer, was a very active and prolific advocate. He was a people's lawyer. In the PF, he was a lawyer for all. He was always available to render legal services to all his colleagues in the Patriotic Front.
I bring a message of condolences, deep condolences from the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, who is in Mwami at this point as I'm speaking, Mwami border post, commissioning a one-stop border post in his counterpart, the President of Malawi. He sends his deep sorrow and condolences to all of us who are gathered here, most especially to the widow, Mrs. Ngulube. Mr. Ngulube's departure is a very, very serious loss to all of us. Those of us who experienced him, we could easily describe him in the following manner: that a stranger is just that best friend you've never met before, because that's what Honorable Ngulube was about.
Before being put to his final resting place, his body was moved to the Kawe High Court for the valedictory service since he was a lawyer. The death of Mr. Ngulube, who was also Opposition Patriotic Front member of the Central Committee, shocked many as he was active on social media hours before he was confirmed dead. Mr. Ngulube, who died at the age of 43, has been described by many as a gallant and fearless politician who contributed immensely not only to his political party, but to the National Assembly and many so to the people of Kawe, who he represented as Member of Parliament until 2021 when he lost his re-election bid. May his soul rest in peace. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Former MUSHE milling employees have vowed to continue spending nights in the cold at the premises of ZCCM Investment Holdings until their salaries are paid.
It is their third day to camp at these premises belonging to ZCCM Investment Holdings. These are former MUSHE Milling Company employees who are owed in excess of 5 months unpaid salaries. The former milling company employees have vowed to continue sleeping at the premises until their demands are met by their employer, who in this case is ZCCM-HI, the majority shareholder in the company, which they claim is now under liquidation.
Fuma mai tatwalile kulia pamande nemfula yatuloka the whole night talala panje hapa tatukwete fyakulya okufuma pamande rotwalile fyakulya pakana lero kunganda takulifiri fyonse amayanda bali tutamfya mungani kuno tapale fuma letu efiri fyonse nombanga tyako bati twafuma kuno tuvume fye pano pene tule yafe kumayanda kwa bulanse ili yonse baba mayanda twarabe bashani abana barali enshi orofe foto kulali enshi
ene anyonsha apacho ntumira phone kusense nati kaunga menna musira kutoka pamande kana sira so nzacho sakutindira mazokulira kunga so bantandizireko bamena abena sebenzera bamushe milling na ba ZCCM bantandizireko please na papata
indera la panso kumoneka street kids mulodi muna abantu abarepta monata abama street kwali bana street kids bale moneka smart so kachi ne muntu ndabomba na alibomba kale ndolera fyo kwati bamperendera mashandi since bena na abafirwa ba tusainisha permanent worker from 2010 up to lero pano but bale kutubutuka fye no 12 shinke fye balenda pali.
According to these employees, they have accused ZCCM-HI of mismanaging resources at MUSHE Milling, adding that before ZCCM-HI bought the majority shares in the company, all was well. They have since pleaded with President Hakainde Hichilema to compel ZCCM-HI, which is a government institution, to pay them their dues as they are suffering.
Made us to suffer like this because they are doing something fishy with the leaders of the union. So those leaders of the union, we wanted them to come here, but they have refused. So that's why I think there's something awful about them. Yeah. So
abale umfuako batuwafulishe ko nabakatega bene otwale votera ifwe batoleke shepunga chakwati bamo na pamida ngoyu mwana nisharerira jatwale votera kufo kutuwafulisha ni bene nga twasanga ma problem yaso so ya ma problem tule facinga bakateeka tulolekesha eripo.
Meanwhile, Mushe Milling Union chairman identified as Malikia Piri when contacted told this reporter that ZCCM-HI has refused to give the union audience, adding that whenever they visit the offices, their visit ends at the reception.
The ZCCM we have never met with that board. That board has been avoiding us. Since we started coming to that office, they have been avoiding us. And we have been confined just at the receptions. We have never met them. So I don't know how these people look. I don't know.
Meanwhile, ZCCM-HI, when contacted, could not disclose when exactly the former employees will be paid their dues, but only assured that the matter is being addressed. For now, these former employees will have to continue spending the night in the court with the hope of getting paid what they worked for. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A state witness has narrated before the Lusaka Magistrate Court how former President Edgar Lungu's associate, Finlay, was in possession of more than one passport.
Trial has commenced in a case in which former Republican President Edgar Lungu's associate, Harry Finlay, is accused of holding more than one passport and forging an immigration stamp. This morning, 7th December 2022, when the matter came up before Lusaka Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya, a state witness, Mulenga Kaliwili, an assistant registration officer at the Department of National Registration, Passport and Citizenship, testified how the accused was in possession of more than one passport. In his testimony, the witness has testified that in 2014, the accused Mr. Finlay was issued with a passport whose expired date is 2024. However, in February 2017, an application to process the passport was received on the basis that the 2014 passport was lost. The passport was issued in March 2017 to replace the passport which was lost. In his further testimony, the witness has indicated to the court that during the time the accused was arrested on the 23rd of October, he was found with a said passport purported to have been lost. Also that in November 2019, Mr. Finlay was issued with another passport which is valid up to 2029 November. The witness says there is no stated reason in their records shown or given by the accused for getting another passport. According to the witness, he had indicated before court that for one to renew a passport, procedure needs to be followed, and this includes if it has been expired or it has been lost, further adding that one cannot hold more than one passport. Earlier, Mr. Finlay took a fresh plea following the amendment of the charge by the state. He maintains a plea of not guilty. His lawyers dismisses the allegations against him. They earlier made an application before court this morning for the witness to be cited for perjury after the witness informed the court that the document he had intended to produce as evidence was computer-generated when in actual fact it was a photocopy. However, giving its ruling, the court dismissed that application and tendered the said document into evidence. Trial continues on the 28th of December 2022. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Ministry of Youth in partnership with the United Nations have launched phase 1 of a project aimed at providing solutions to youth empowerment and employment in Zambia.
Youth unemployment has remained the biggest challenge in Zambia as many youths are being wasted due to lack of productivity. In order to fulfill its campaign promise of providing youth employment and opportunities, the United Party for National Development UPND-led administration working with the United Nations has launched phase 1 of a project aimed at providing solutions to youth empowerment and employment in Zambia. And Ministry of Youth, Sports and Art Permanent Secretary Kangwa Chileshe, who made a presentation at the launch of the project, highlighted some of the findings of a research that was conducted in Lusaka regarding youth unemployment.
One problem, access to finance. Number 2, access to land. Number 3, limited entrepreneurship and vocational skills training. Number 4, challenges of registering a business. Too many bottlenecks. Over 3/4 of young people surveyed reported that the registration and licensing process was too complicated and difficult.
Meanwhile, Minister in charge of Youth and Sport Elvis Nkando, who represented Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema at the launch, says in an effort to provide solutions to youth unemployment challenges, his administration under Phase 1 project will recruit 2,000 interns, apprentices and volunteers across the country.
1. The internship, graduate, apprenticeship and volunteer program. This program, the internship, graduate, apprenticeship and volunteer program, will target youth who are school infants, including those who may not have been to school. And I repeat, including those who may not have been to school. That's how inclusive we will be. That's the difference between the previous internship and this one.
And Education Minister Douglas Yakalima also added his voice.
One of you talked about mental health. Yes, it's a big challenge about the adolescents and as well as youth. It's a big challenge. But we can minimize mental health if we keep our kids in school.
What have we provided in order to make sure that the youths are catered for? We may blame them, but the other finger is pointing on us as government. And the other finger is also pointing at other stakeholders.
And speaking at the same event, United Nations Resident Coordinator Beatrice Mutali says the launch of the program provides a unique opportunity to reimagine responsive people-centered development models that can yield accelerated tangible dividends for Zambian youths, regardless of rural-urban divides and education backgrounds.
During this critical phase of the program, the United Nations will support in addressing and integrating service provision for capacity development and education, while testing and implementing solutions and approaches to address youth empowerment and employment challenges.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
That news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Former President Edgar Lungu's associate, Finlay, had more than one passport, witnesses tells court. EX-MUSHE milling employees spend a night in the cold at ZCCM-HI offices demanding for benefits. Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.